Faith, belief in action. Randy Ollis is finding people who are guided by their faith from all religions, denominations, and walks of life, and sharing their stories with you. From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is Finding Faith, brought to you by Northview Church.
In today's Finding Faith, his verse of the day videos on the Bible app typically get this, well over 1 million views the day they're featured. Super cool.
That is amazing. Jackie Bledsoe is an author, international speaker who founded Happily Married Couples, where he and his wife help couples build better marriages and Christ-centered families all over the world. Jackie, welcome. Tell us about, I guess you call this a ministry, right?
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited about it. Yeah, it's our ministry to couples. It's our way to share what God has done in our marriage and our relationship with other couples who may be places that we were in the past or will soon be at some of those points as well.
And I'm curious, how did this get started for you? Where did it begin?
Yeah, it started with some mistakes.
I love the honesty, yes.
Yeah. I mean, when we were married, marriage was hard. We didn't have the skills. We weren't equipped. We always say that we got our premarital counseling at our 1-year anniversary, which that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So we learned after we got married how to develop and have a marriage that God was the author of marriage. And so we wanted to follow his principles. We didn't learn those principles until after we were a few years married, and we connected with some other couples, and they kind of took us under their wing and started to teach us. And then now we started to see our marriage change, our life change, and we wanted to share with other couples.
I mean, connecting and helping more than 115,000, that's a big number.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's amazing. The book is just our marriage story and the different stages, our journey, the ups and downs and all the things that happen. And we shared it, and it resonated with so many people. And so, we shared it, and people were like, oh man, that's exactly where we are right there.
Yeah. It's amazing, too, that I know, Randy, and you and I were talking about the work he's done even with the 700 Club. I mean, your message, what is it like for it to reach that far to so many different people, and especially on a platform like that? Yeah,
it's humbling, one. But, we went through, like I said, so many different challenges that we went through, and there were kind of 2 big breaks in or 2 big seasons in our marriage. One was just trying to get through problems and stay married. Yeah. And then we got to that point where it's like, okay, our marriage is bigger than us. And that's when we realized, okay, this is something that we just can't hold for ourselves. The problems weren't just for us to solve and get on the other side. The problems so we can go through them, experience them, and be able to relate to other couples.
So what's the biggest problem you're finding between couples nowadays? The number one problem, and also this is a faith-based segment right here. How does Christ factor into that?
Yeah. So you hear people talk about different marriage problems. They all say communication, trust, intimacy, all those things. But what I found out is that we are looking at the other person to fix and change instead of looking at ourselves.
He's saying, look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror. I feel like, though, now more than ever, though, people and couples need that. Our world has just kind of changed, and a lot of different things get in the way. Yeah. Do you see that a lot of times, too?
Yeah, there's so many different distractions. There's so many different things.
Distractions, that's a good word for it.
Yeah, that are happening that keep us from focusing on the main things. And so we try to go back to the foundation. Like my wife and I, we try to have weekly date nights. We try to have a daily walk. Just those basic things that help you to connect, you make that connection again. So you hear couples say, okay, we just not in love anymore, or we don't, we drifted apart. Well, you haven't been doing the things to bring you together. And so we highly encourage couples to do that.
That makes so much sense.
We like reading scripture together occasionally, in the morning before I come to work, and pray together sometimes. All those little things like that really help us.
What kind of reactions do you hear from people that you help? What do they say?
Oh man, the stories are all over the place. We've had events where people come and they have divorce papers in the car. Wow. So this is their last ditch effort. Wow. And we're like, okay, but after what we learned this weekend, now we're going to give it another shot. And so we've seen pretty much everything, and it's always humbling to say, wow.
That's going to make you feel pretty good.
Oh yeah. It's humbling, and we're just like, okay, he just chose us who are just sharing what we've gone through and what he's done. And just continuing to say, yes, we'll do it. Some stuff we didn't want to share, but we were willing and shared it, and it's been helping people.
And we all struggle.
We all struggle.
If you say you don't struggle, then you're struggling when not telling the truth.
Right.
Literally making a difference. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, it
and
is
offering your insight. I appreciate that. This is one of those I could talk about for so long. This is really great.
And that Bible app, too, that you have.
Yes.
Running out of time.
For sure.
So,
Thank you so much.
I'm Randy Ollis. Thanks for joining me in the Finding Faith podcast. Join me again next time as I share more stories of people who are guided by their faith. If this podcast has touched you, I hope you'll share it with a friend. If you have a story you want to share, go to lifestylelive.tv and click on the contact button.
This is Finding Faith with Randy Ollis. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast, and be sure to check out other great podcasts on the All Indiana Podcast Network online at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.